Right. Okay. Good evening, guys. It's Darren from Jace Media here in Glasgow, and we're heading across the pond to sunny California to join up this afternoon with the Mercury Riots. I'll hand you across, and the guys can introduce themselves, and we'll take it from there.
Hi, Darren. Thank you for having us. We are stoked to be here. My name is Johnny.
Yeah, I'm Zachary.
How's it going, Darren? Felipe.
Hey guys, great to meet you. And thanks for taking the time.
Thanks for having us.
I know it's crazy times out there at the moment. What's it like in California just now?
I guess like any place else in the world, I think you guys have it pretty bad over there in Scotland. So I think we're more like Scotland than the rest of America, where it's nuts. We've had a lot of people pass, unfortunately, but we're starting to reopen. Things are starting to come together. I know that people are starting to get vaccines. So
yes, I have my blue envelope that you get from the National Health Service.
I want one.
To get me vaccinated. So
that's awesome.
I get that in a couple of weeks' time. It's incredible to think, that something like this has kind of brought the world to a standstill. You guys, especially musicians, where you rely on the participation of the audience, and it's just totally ripped. This is a Scottish phrase, ripped the arse right out of it.
I've heard that one before.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, that's good.
Good. Yeah, it's been a weird time, man. But it's given us a lot of time to work on sort of the craft of the recording process, I guess, in what limited capacity we can. I mean, fortunately, we have access to some really killer studios in LA, and we've been able to sort of socially distance record, and we're actually getting a lot done. Maybe not as much as we could, but I'm actually surprised at the adaptation of the music world, especially in Los Angeles. We're figuring out kind of workarounds to be able to still get shit done, because we need to get it done. This is like, if we're not playing music, what are we doing? So yeah. Glad that we've all sort of put our heads together and figured out. I mean, who would have thought of doing a Zoom interview 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, a Zoom interview, or like a live stream gig. Yeah. When you'd rely on going to a gig and seeing the person up close and personal, having the sweat dripping off the roof, and now, yeah, I think the way forward at the moment, is the tip jar, for a live stream or a one-on-one gig where you guys get to do your thing, and fortunately or unfortunately get paid to do it, because it's your only mode of income.
Absolutely. I just want to say that I don't know if this is weird or not, but when you said sweating all over you at gigs, the first thought I got, and I don't know if this has ever happened to you, is when that guy comes up to you who's a little bit taller and he's been sweating all night, and he puts his arm around you, and next thing you know, your shoulder's just like sweaty from his armpit. For whatever reason, that was the first thought I got when you said sweating all over you. So
Johnny's the shortest guy in our band. He's the only one that deals with that. I'm 6'2".
I am behind. Yeah. I'm way behind you.
But I think it's what I say to everyone when I'm doing my interviews. Being a professional reviewer is probably one of the best jobs in the world.
Yeah.
Because when you guys are making music and it's stuck on your 8-track and stuck on a shelf because you can't do anything with it, we get the pleasure of listening to you guys and then critiquing you guys, and then getting you on in a Zoom call or a Skype call and telling you if your video was shite, or if or if it rocked, and then you have to wait 6-9 months to see you guys in the flesh. And I do think that at the moment, what they're saying for here in Britain is that every adult will be vaccinated by the end of July. So you've got Reading and Leeds Festival going ahead, and Rambling Man going ahead at the moment.
What about
so,
bands from other countries?
You know, Johnny, my own personal opinion is that if and when the British adult population is vaccinated, I guess it's then down to you guys to decide whether you want to come. You know, because we can say, yeah, we've been vaccinated. What they're talking about here, I don't know if you get it in America, they're talking about a vaccination passport.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've heard a little bit about that.
Yeah, so basically what happens if you get inoculated, you then are presented with a passport, which will allow you to go to clubs, bars, restaurants, cinemas, so that they know that you've been, you know, you've got a vaccination, so you've not really got any chance of passing it to anyone. Now, I don't know if that's going to, you know, hamper the music industry more, you know, because you're going to have probably a third or a quarter capacity. Because believe it or not, I don't know what it's like for you guys in America. A lot of people here are saying they don't want to have the vaccine.
Yeah, same here.
I don't get
Like,
it. But go ahead, Philippe. Sorry.
oh yeah, it's about the same here. It's people are just divided, I guess, you know, with you know, either to get it or not. I think it's gonna be just, you know, there's gonna be no choice really. You want to keep playing music live and travel the world and stuff. I don't think we're gonna have a choice, regardless of if you want it or not. You know.
Yeah, Felipe, I think you're right. You know, and I guess, you know, the other situation that, you know, that British bands will have at the moment is because of Brexit. You know, for British bands traveling to Europe, they're talking about taking away your visa to allow you to travel, because what's happened is Britain has decided they wanted to leave the EU. So you've got all your touring countries, your France, your Spain, your Germany, your Holland, and what they're saying is that, you know, if you want to travel to these countries, it's going to cost you loads of money because you chose to come out of the European Union. So now we're going to shove it up you and cost you more money. So I don't know if you guys would get that, and I guess this is what will happen when you decide to go on tour. That, you know, you'll have to work out, you know, what you're going to do.
I don't know if we're going to fall under the same guidelines because our situation with the EU hasn't changed.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's going to affect us coming into England, although in all due respect to the UK, of all the countries, it's the biggest pain in the ass anyways to get into. So I don't know if it, at this point, when it comes to the vaccine, I'm sure I could speak for all of us when I say, I don't think any of us are going to want to travel without having the vaccine.
Absolutely.
And I would like to think that whoever we work with on a business level takes the same precautions, you know, because we're only trying to play music, you know. I mean, it's just like everybody, like, you know, if you want to play music or you want to go see the show, just do the right thing.
Yeah.
You know, that's all, you know.
You know, I totally agree. You know, we as a media company, you know, we get bands on and we ask them, you know, have you got representation? Have you got people looking after you? Have you got this? Have you got that? And they're like, no, not really, you know. So, you know, for us as well, we like to help, you know, bands that come on, you know, and you know, and do what they do best. So I guess you're right. It's going to have to be whether you know, or your touring company or your PR or your management want to send you to, you know, the biggest pain in the ass country, you know, like England, you know.
We love it there, though. We're
come
fans.
and live in Scotland. It's great, you know.
Yeah.
You get shite weather, you know, 360 days of the year, and it's great. Everybody's really nice. We just want to have a good time, enjoy ourselves, and invite all you guys on and play every night in Glasgow. So
Hell yeah.
That's what you need to do.
We love it. We love it.
Yeah, we've had some great times in Glasgow for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scotland in general, Edinburgh as well, right? I mean, we've been there a bunch of times.
Edinburgh was
too.
my
Come
Yeah.
on, Johnny. Come on, Johnny.
Got to start some shit, you know.
Yeah. You're starting off the right foot tonight.
The coffee's just kicking in. You got to give me some time. I'll
Yeah.
get good.
I can see this. I can see this interview being cut short, or you getting booted out. One of the two.
I'm out of here.
So, where did the name Mercury Riots come from?
Well, we kicked out a lot of ideas with it. Felipe and I are big fans of Queen. I think all three of us are big fans of Queen, and you know, Freddie Mercury. Obviously, Mercury's not his real last name, and so it's a little bit of a tip of the cap to him. And the word riot is just a pretty rock and roll word.
Well, I'd be very surprised though, Zachary, if you called yourself the Balsara Riots. You know, I don't know if I don't know if a lot of people would get that.
Less of a ring to it, really. But, yeah, Felipe could probably answer it a little better, but I mean, we kicked out a lot of ideas, and that's a name that I think Felipe said one time, and it was like, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, we were, like he said, we were going through a bunch of different names, and you know, it was like a lot of the shit that was happening then with like at the beginning of the pandemic and stuff. It seemed like the world was just insane, and you know, everybody kept saying, you know, Mercury in retrograde or whatever, and the whole thing, and so that kind of kickstarted the whole, you know, Mercury imagery in my head and stuff. And of course, Freddie Mercury, we love Queen, so it's like, oh shit, well, you know, let's do it for Freddie, fuck it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's just turmoil. That's what rock and roll is. It's hectic. It's, you know,
Yeah,
it's pretty much the imagery of Mercury is pretty much, it's very rock and roll for sure, you know.
absolutely. The man,
In our
total
other,
showman.
Yeah, in our other projects and bands that we've all played in individually, or other things we've done together, people have described us as a train that's about to go off the tracks, and the ruckus involved with that. So it kind of reminds me, Riot sort of has that imagery, you know. I mean, cars on fire and broken windows, and just, you know,
Yeah,
rock and roll.
What's rock and roll without a bit of carnage, you know? And I think you know that when you go to a show, you know, I've been fortunate enough, you know, to see probably almost every rock and roll and heavy metal band on the planet. I started my tenure at age 11, and I went to see AC/DC.
Wow.
Oh, fuck yeah.
In a place called the Glasgow Apollo. I
Oh
don't know
shit.
if-
So it's like a hometown gig for them pretty much.
Yeah, do you know, the Glasgow Apollo was probably one of the most famous venues in the world. You know, it had really crappy seats. You know, you could stick to the carpet. Windows were broken. When the balcony was in full swing, it was moving up and down, and you could see concrete coming from the side of the balcony because the place was just rocking.
That's great.
You know, it's phenomenal. You know, and I was
What tour was that, if you don't mind me asking?
1979.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
wow.
The Highway to Hell.
You saw Bon Scott?
Bon Scott.
Yes,
Yeah.
Bon Scott. Now I'm
No.
my dad's friend was the head of security in the venue, and he said, "Oh, the big man likes a bit of rock. There's a gig on tonight," and he said, "Send him down 6:30." So you've got to remember, I'm a lanky streak of piss with auburn hair. I weigh about probably 6 stone wringing wet, and I go down to the gig. I rattle on the door, and he takes me in through the corridor, shoves me through the curtain, and the stage is about 10 foot high. It's enormous. Off the ground, it's huge. And I've got all these guys with tattoos and ripped denim jackets and beards, you know, and I'm like 11, you know, shitting myself. And the lights go down and they come on stage, and Angus is stoating up and down, giving it big time. And I'm like, oh yeah. Oh, well, I like this. Don't know who they are, but I like them. You know, found out it was AC/DC. So he pops his head out the curtain and he says, all right, big man, did you enjoy that? I went, well, they were brilliant. What's the name of them? Oh, AC/DC. Oh, she goes, oh, that's my new favourite band, right? And as far back as I can remember, this is the story. He says, are you staying for the main act? And I'm like, 9:15, I've got school tomorrow. And I said to him, who is it anyway? And he said, oh, it's a band called the Rolling Stones. And I says to him, do you know, never heard of them. So I'll see you tomorrow. And I left.
That's awesome.
And I gets home and my dad says, all right, big man, you're home early. And I said, yeah. What a show. And he said, who was it? I says, oh, some band called AC/DC. And then she says, but you're home early. I says, I've got school tomorrow. He says, who was the main act? I says, oh, some band called the Rolling Stones. Never heard of them, so I just left.
Yeah.
And my dad's like, you're an idiot. What are you doing? And that was my first foray into heavy metal, you know, watching AC/DC.
That's a hell of a show.
Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal, you know. And, you know, I think for Scottish guys, it brings home the importance, you know, of going to a show and getting the full treatment, you know, go and seeing the support act, go and see the full, you know, the main live act, and then getting a chance, you know, to interview you guys and talk about your experience, you know, in Glasgow or Scotland, or what you thought of the crowd. And that's always important to Glaswegians, that when you come, the audience will show you a good time.
Yeah. Oh, we've always had
Yeah,
fun.
we've had some, you know, after show
Shenanigans.
for sure.
Absolutely. So the new track, now we posted it on the Jace Media website and on Facebook. The first review was done by a colleague of mine. So this isn't my review. So what we're going to do is,
that was posted yesterday, I think, wasn't it?
So what I was doing, I said to my boss, I'm interviewing the guys on Saturday. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my review, because I've still got my review, and here it is of the single. Right?
Are we going to hear it now? Are you going to read it to us?
Do you want me to read it to you?
Yeah.
This shite and sucks.
Hopefully it's not good, so that way you got to look us in the face when you read it to us.
At the top it says this band are shite. So I get out there first, and then we can move on. Right. This is what you'll get. The video will be sent to my boss tonight. He'll render it down and we'll edit it. And then what we do is we put the full interview with Jace Media and the Mercury Riots. And then you'll have my review of the single, and then the video with the music playing in the background. So that was the way we did it. You know, I think that at the moment it's taken about 480 hits for being posted yesterday.
Cool.
That's good, yeah?
Yes, you know, I mean, we get sort of like 4,000 hits a month.
Oh shit! So we got 10% of those in one day. Yesterday.
Yeah, you know, so it'll gather a bit of speed, and then when you put the video on, then you know it bumps it up by a few thousand. So you know, I'll keep you posted.
Thanks.
I'll keep you posted. Right. So here we go. You can then now critique me when I'm telling you what I hear.
Okay.
All right. So it says we've got a cool, dirty, rasping riff with an attitude that flows towards us as this punchy little rocker gets off the ground. There's a meaty, plundering bass line that hands a cool, funky groove as the beats open up and gives it to us straight. Thundering snare drum punches fill the air as the bass drum with a cymbal crash brings the rhythm section to the front as a cool guitar solo slides in and brings us crisp, clean licks that just elevate this tune upwards and onwards. We have a gravelly, rasping vocal that has depth and direction as it shows us just how good these guys are. This trio is well worth salt, as they finally bring the swagger and good times with this awesome rocking tune.
Fuck yeah, dude.
There we go.
We need to bring you everywhere we go.
Yeah.
We're just going to take you along with us.
You're already,
I can just be your PR and just, you know, and I'll just say to the guys, I'll hand these out at the show.
Yeah.
Listen, don't worry about it. Here we go.
hey, man.
Thank you, man. That's awesome.
Thanks, dude. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
You know, what I do, guys, is that, you know, I don't know how, you know, when you have had reviews before, some guys go, didn't really like this, didn't really like that. You know, what I do as a reviewer is I listen to what you guys are playing and how I hear it in my head. So when I don't go, you know, it was cool in this part, but it was dark in this part and it didn't sound right, because that just, you know, that for you guys just brings a bit of negativity.
You learn to take this stuff with a grain of salt, though, because it is just one person's opinion and everybody has them, you know. So like you know, you can't make everybody happy. You know, I mean, you could, I guess, but probably not. Yeah, you know.
But,
So no,
you know,
yeah.
So I hope that was good. I hope you enjoyed that.
That was awesome. Thank you so much.
You know, I guess when you have musicians, you know, you have ideas in your head, and you know, when you play the track through, and you go, yeah, it sounds fucking shit hot. But I guess as a reviewer, you know, when you're reviewing every sound, the thrashing drums and the heavy bass line and the gravel vocals and stuff like that, and the shredding guitar solo, I guess it's just what my take on what you guys are doing. And sometimes, like you say, Johnny, it's a good thing, it's a bad thing. Some people go, this boy doesn't know what he's talking about, you know, or, you know, were you listening to the same track as me and things like this, you know. So I guess as a reviewer, you have to have thick skin as well, because people tell you, people often tell me, you know, message me and tell me I'm talking a pile of nonsense, you know, when I review something.
You know, I saw a quote not too long ago. Musicians and artists in general, we take more rejection in probably a single year than an average human probably gets in a lifetime, just because of the nature of what we do. Is that it's like 1,000 no's to get one yes is pretty much what our business comes down to. What I did like about your review, and I like that you painted a picture of it. You know what I mean? You almost like took us into your head and what you were hearing, and like, you know, and painting those sounds. So it was great. That was great. Thank you. Thank you.
Listen, it's not a problem. I guess that's what you try and get across. You know, when it's as though I'm standing in the front row watching you guys build this track. And sometimes people will say, yeah, that's good. Or sometimes people came on to me and go, no, dude, you were just listening to the wrong stuff. But like you say, Johnny, it's just, you know, it's everyone's opinion. But and it's not the fact that I'm coming on to say, I hope these guys like me tonight because I've given them a good review or a bad review, you know. So it's my take on you guys as three artists putting your heart and soul into 3 minutes and 45 seconds of a rock track that you guys have, you know, taken maybe a few weeks or a few months to build the picture, you know. And I'm only putting my stamp on it, because what I want to do is, when we get you guys on now, this video, where we'll go to Australia, it'll go to America, it'll go to Europe. When, you know, the nature of this is to try and get you guys out there.
We appreciate it.
You know, and that's what JS Media does. We could say, oh, we're recording it for ourselves and we're not showing it to anyone. We're recording it to get you guys out there, you know, and say, this is the Mercury Riots. Listen to what they've got to say and make your own mind up. You know, we don't go, oh, I'm going to take that and put it in my private video bank, you know. And not
you do something smart though. You book the interview before you release the review, so that way you can, like, if it's not a good review and you know you can't get out of it, you're like kind of stuck in there. Yeah.
you guys, I'll put the review on it. You guys will be like, delete. Don't know this.
I didn't get any email. What are you talking about?
delete. Don't know this, dude. you know, take him off my friends list. But you know, I guess that's the chance, you know, that, you know, when you do the review and you put yourself out there, that, you know, you guys may come out and go, fucking hell, man, that dude's fucking talking nonsense. Or, you know, it's a positive review that lets you guys know that what you're doing is, it's got, you know, the track's got a bit of swagger and people are going to dig it, you know. And I guess that a reviewer kind of has a little bit of, I don't know, maybe a little bit of say on how good or how bad a band is, because if the reviewer sits there and tells you it's fantastic, the viewers are going to like it. If the viewers come off and go, I just didn't feel what the big man was trying to sell me, then it comes across that maybe the band, you know, aren't doing it either. So I guess it's a double-edged sword, you know, that you're trying to get you guys as much exposure as possible, if that makes sense.
Well, you know, yeah, it totally does. And I'm going to ask Zach and Felipe to add to what I'm about to say, because these guys are the masterminds behind this great sound that we have. But I think any band, and us especially, the only thing you can do is be as real as possible. And that's it. If you like it, cool. If you don't like it, cool. But as long as it's honest and it's real and it's not fake, well, then there's only so much shit you can give somebody, you know? And with that being said, being that these guys are the ones who come up with it, I mean, they might be able to elaborate a little bit more with that, but, you know.
No, I think you nailed it. I mean, you know, we have a certain set of guidelines for how we want to write and play music, I guess. But, you know, the sky's the limit, really. I mean, you know, we're a rock and roll band. We'll do whatever we want. But, you know, I can speak to myself. You know, part of our sound that we're developing as a band, the Mercury Riots, revolves around the fact that I'm the bass player and the singer. And so sometimes playing a super complex part and trying to sing might be difficult. And so, you know, you've only heard one song, but you're going to hear other songs, and it's like, there might not be bass in the verse because I'm taking a second so I can just be the fucking front man. Right. And then chorus comes in slamming bass, and the bass sounds huge. But like, that's part of our vibe, is like, let the guitar player be the guitar player. Let the bass and the drums be sort of the stage, I guess, for the guitar player and for the vocalist as well, you know? So that's part of what has defined our sound. It's like,
yeah, Johnny, don't you put yourself down, mate. Everybody loves a drummer.
Oh, hey, you know, there's that old saying, you know, who's the guy who hangs out with musicians? The drummer.
2 musicians and a drummer were involved in a car accident.
And the only one that came out of it was the drummer. Shit.
The irony behind that, yeah?
As long as we got Johnny in the back, you know, we're good. We're solid.
Yeah. So what's the plan for you guys? What's the next step?
Well, right now we released the first single. We are going to release a new single, I would say, every 4 to 6 weeks. We're going to try. Being that we are not able to tour, we don't want to release a record right away, even though that we have a record done. We're just kind of hanging on to it. We want to make sure everybody has a chance to really listen to every song. So we're going to do it in increments. And, you know, when the world opens up, the touring schedule will be pretty crazy. You know, we're a bunch of road dogs. That's what we do. So as you can imagine, like you mentioned in the beginning, it's been kind of torturous to be at home, but fortunately enough, and I hate ever saying this, you know, because so many people have had such a bad time through this time, for us, it's kind of given us the opportunity to really create it. So now that we've created it and we're going to release it, but when the world opens up, you'll see us all over the place, and we'll have a new album when the world opens and we go out there, and you know, hopefully won't get sick of us. You'll see us so often.
Listen, you need to, I think that's the thing, you know, get yourself out there, get the merch out there, you know. I think that keeps the world rolling, you know, when you get merch and you get a record, whether it be a splatter disc, whether it be a deluxe CD edition, because I think then it becomes more real. You know,
absolutely.
That you're going, you know, you've made a record and it's now out there for guys like us to critique, but it's also out there for you guys to take on the road and do your thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, we can't wait.
Yeah, listen, I do hope that you will come to Glasgow.
Oh, that's definite. Like, you don't have to hope that will happen as soon as we can. I mean,
our booking is Scottish, so I think he's
yeah. Our booking agent is Scottish. Yeah, he's from where? Aberdeen, right? I think that's where he's from.
Aberdeen. Yeah. There's plenty of sheep in Aberdeen. You can also tell them that.
I will. Something tells me that's some kind of weird inside Scottish joke that's going to get me hit in the face. I don't know. I'm not quite sure.
It will ask you the question, "Who told you that?" And you can just say, "No, we heard it somewhere." Don't.
Yeah.
don't
I heard
tell
it in
us
Glasgow somewhere.
Absolutely. And when I come to the show, I'll be thinking, I don't even want to talk to these guys.
Yeah.
I had 40 minutes for them.
Why does the drummer have a black eye? Oh fuck no.
and why does the bass player have a sheep on a leash?
I love it. Sheep on a leash. It's like that latest Korn single, but different. Freak on a leash.
Nice. Well done.
Bad humor.
So what are you guys doing at the moment? What's the what's the daily lives like in California? Are you trying to meet up? Are you having to social distance? Are you in the studio? Are you writing?
Yeah.
Mix of all
Yeah, there's been a lot of writing, mostly with Zach and I have been writing a lot of new stuff, and and we've recorded, how many songs do we think? We pretty much have like an album's worth, I think, right now.
Close. Yeah, we're working. Fortunately, we can record. We have access, like I said, to studios. I'm in my studio right now. There's like shit everywhere, guitars and pedals and stuff. But so we.
Yeah, I was going to say that, Zach. It's pretty untidy. Fucking clean your shit up the next time you come on, man. Now.
Working control room. I actually, until 5 minutes before we started this, I was behind my desk dialing in a new patch bay. So it was a lot until 5 minutes before. There's cables and shit everywhere. So that's the way it is. But yeah, I mean, we still see each other. The guys are coming over in about a couple hours. We're gonna grill up some burgers and hang out for a bit out in my yard and
social distancing. He's got a nice big yard, so we're able to sit in a nice social distance triangle.
And will you do any jamming when you guys go over? No.
Sometimes a little bit, but yeah, we have a studio we rehearse at.
We kind of like getting together because it's really important that we're not just a band of musicians, that we're also a band of friends.
Yeah, absolutely. I think
we live together on the road, and we got to be in close quarters, so we kind of want to make sure we all like each other enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's the thing. It's like, when you're in a band, I think it's important that you like each other as well. Because you don't want to be on the road for 6-9 months with two other guys that you don't particularly get on with. Because it doesn't make for great chemistry. When you hit the stage.
Yeah, I understand that very much.
Yeah, we get along. We get along pretty well. Thankfully.
I think that's good. I think that's the most important thing. That you get along well when you do it, because I think it makes for a more fun time. That you're going to have some crosswords, but I think when you're out there, and you're making the music and you see the smiling faces, I think it makes it all worthwhile for you guys.
Yeah, at the end of the day, that's what it boils down to. It's it's like on tour, I think Johnny said it, like we'd always say it when we're touring, is it's only 1 hour of the whole day that you're actually doing what you're on tour, like doing everything, and then just for the 1 hour at night you get to finally go on stage and play music, and it really does make it worth it when you're finally there, like finally playing music. It's you can't trade that for anything.
Absolutely. Now listen, when you get your next single, make sure you drop it in my inbox.
Absolutely. I'll make sure you get it personally.
Maybe my review might not be so good the next time. Who knows? I'll just I
don't know what interviews you're talking about next time. I didn't hear about any interview. What interview?
It's all right, Johnny. I'll just be constantly emailing you. Come back on and let's talk some shit,
Block. Just kidding.
I'm like, can't see you guys. can't see you. Yeah, okay. Like, yeah, fuck you. No, thank you.
Hey, we only have like a couple of minutes left before this thing
Yep.
runs out, but I just want to add on to what Felipe was saying and say that you know, being in a band, I always like to compare it to like a football team or, you know, a family. It's very important that there's relationships, and those relationships develop long before the stage. And I don't think what people realize is that those relationships is what develops what you see on that stage.
Absolutely.
And, you know, when you see us smiling at one another on stage, it's genuine and it's true. And I've been in bands, trust me, when certain member of the band looks at me and I'm like, you fucking cocksucker. And it's amazing to play with people that when I look at them, it brings a smile to my face. So, you know, with that being said, I love you guys, and I love you too, Darren. Thank you.
Yeah, but I think what you were doing there, Johnny, when you were calling I think you were calling the three of us fucking cocksucker, because I saw your eyes move round the screen. So I'm thinking maybe we're all in that boat.
No, just kidding. just kidding. We're at less than a minute here. So
yeah, absolutely. Listen, it's been an absolute pleasure. I know that sometimes interviews are, you know, sometimes go quick, sometimes you're dragging stuff out, but it's one of these things you could talk for hours because of the love of music. And I appreciate your time. I do hope that you hang out this afternoon and get some beers and talk some shit. And then when you get your next single, you know, this one will be on probably tomorrow with the video. I'll let you guys know when it's on. And then you can share it on the platforms.
Absolutely.
As I say, it will go to America and Australia, you know, for people to look at, and, you know, maybe somebody daft enough will pick it up. You know, you never know.
Right on, man. Well, thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
This is
absolutely. Thank you.
Another problem. This is Darren from Jace Media. In the chair, the Mercury Riots, Johnny, Zachary, and Felipe. It's been an absolute pleasure, guys. Stay safe, and we will be in touch again, and let's do some more chatting.
Sounds great, man. Thank you.
Cheers.
See you guys.
See ya.